All right, so we're going to be talking about Britestar stories of the Britestar. So, what is a story that you'd like to share with us that happened at the Britestar?
So I was here on a Sunday with my boys, and this random lady showed up, and she was sitting right here. And she was mentioning how she was moving and how she needed her house to be cleaned up. So I told her that I would clean her house. But I went back to the table where I was sitting at, and my friends decided to leave, and I was like, well, I'm gonna stay around with her. So she ordered a pizza intentionally for everyone, but my friends had already left, so it was just for her and I had to eat like half a pizza, and it was too much with olives. I don't like olives, but I'll eat olives. And so then I told her, she was like, oh, my apartment needs cleaning. So I went to go say, like, oh, I'll clean your apartment. So after eating the pizza and everything, she was just like, oh, I live down the street. So I went down the street with her, I followed her, and she was driving like a mad woman. And let me tell you, she kept ordering drink after drink after drink, and I was like, oh my goodness, I cannot keep up with this woman. So she drives down to the liquor store down here, I think it's across the street from Donut Man, and she gets like another like pack of beer, and I'm like, okay, well, here we go. So then I'm following her. She tries to get cigarettes, but they're out of the cigarettes she wants, but she gets her beer, and we pull up to her apartment, and she's like, okay, well, let's clean. And so while I'm cleaning, she pulls out some weed, and she's like, hey, do you smoke weed? I'm like, well, I haven't smoked weed in a while, but why not? You know, like this day or night is going much interesting than from what I expected. So I'm smoking with her, I'm drinking with her. Here she is pouring some beer, some Pabst Blue Ribbon into some fancy like wine cup, saying, oh, be my boyfriend, you're my Richie Lionel. And I'm like, okay, why not? I'm your Richie Lionel. Okay, so now we're in her living room and we're dancing, and she's all like, oh, like grab my tits and stuff. And so I'm like, okay. So I'm like, yeah. And she's like, oh wait, let me move my ice cooler, my water cooler, like the water machine, in front of my door with some chairs, because the police show up to my house randomly because my daughter declared me insane. And here I am thinking like, well, how bad can it be? So here she is moving everything in front of her door, and now she's all like that to me, and I'm like, okay, here we go. And then 2 minutes later, she pushes me, and she's like, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, you just told me like it's okay. And she's like, no, I'm into kickboxing. So she brings me into the next room, which is like a spare bedroom, where she told me I can stay at and pay like $600 a month for rent. And I'm like, I'll think about it. And so she's showing me her like punching bag and all her punching trophy achievements. And so now we're in her patio, and she lights up another joint. I don't smoke it. So then we go downstairs, and she meets this Asian dude who's attracting all these like younger girls. I'm pretty sure they're foreign girls because he's American. And so she's explaining to me the whole like DL from like every person that rents out every room, what they do and what we can do and stuff. And so now we go back upstairs, and I'm like, hey, she's inviting me, you know, to spend the night at her house. And I'm like, okay, I'll spend the night. So I take a shower, and she's like, you need to take a shower. So I take a shower. She comes in the bathroom with all her clothes on, and just is like, I don't know, she was just, I'm pretty sure at that point she was blacked out, because she got all the clothes on, and she's like, make out with me, and I'm like, blah, 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 you know. And then she gets out, I get out, and then I'm thinking like, okay, I kind of want to leave because it's already 12:30 in the morning. And so I tell her I'm going to talk about when I leave. So when I try to leave, she gets up and she's trying to leave with me. And I'm like, okay, well, this isn't going to happen. So now Richie Lionel's playing for like the past 4 hours. She's calling me Richie Lionel, and I don't know what to do. So she's like, okay, well, let's go get more beer. So we go to I believe it's an Albertsons across the street from where she lived. And so we get some Albertsons beer, and we keep drinking and we keep smoking. And then she's all like, oh, like, just eat me out. So I'm eating her out, and I'm like, no. And then one thing led to another, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna try to leave. And no, this person's already like, no, she got up. I was like, you're not leaving. And she put more chairs behind the door and said, you're not leaving. So then I said, okay, well, what am I gonna do? So Richie and Lionel's still playing in the background. I go out to the balcony. I'm on the 3rd story, and we've been drinking, and she's all like, help me find my daughter, because my daughter does not want anything to do with me anymore. And so then I did, and then after that, I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna get Taco Bell. Do you want anything? Said nothing. I'm like, okay. Do you want Taco Bell again? She's like, ugh. I'm like, okay, well, I'm grabbing some Taco Bell. So I put on my chocolates, and I leave everything that was of hers, because she was like on a whole nother level. I was on a whole nother level too. She came from the bar, she could buy me drinks. You know, she drank more than I could. And I left everything on her table right there, and I was like, okay, well, if I leave, this can be like one of those nightmarish things where if I'm going down the parking structure, she'll be right there screaming, saying, where are you going? But it wasn't. So I grabbed my chocolates, and when I tried to close the door, the table and the water cooler thing that she blocked the door with the cord is blocking the door. So I'm trying to slam it, I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna wake her up. So I push it in with my hand, and I remember she was trying to remove some bamboo, like, plants, because it was like a holiday or something. So I left it right there by her door, and I moved the cord back in, and I closed the door, and I grabbed my chocolates, and I ran for it, and I went upstairs, and I was like, oh my god, this lady's like insane. She trapped me in for 4 hours of her house, saying I'm Richie Lionel, and I couldn't even leave her house, and here she is saying like, oh, grab my tits, and then a minute later she's like punching me in the chest, saying, what the fuck are you doing? When she just said it was okay. And I'm like, what the hell is... And let me just say, if she sees this and she's down to fuck again, I'd totally fuck her again.
She'd sue you.
I would totally do it again.
I like it.